Afternoon, everyone. Brian here at the YTCSC YouTube Celtic Supporters Club. Match day, Dundee versus Celtic at Celtic Park in the Scottish Cup. Just wanted to look ahead to the game today, look back at the week, the rumours of ins and outs, the ox in the box as the incoming, and also about the boycott, and fully behind the guys that do the boycott. But let's have a look at some other options, maybe look at how else we can influence fan engagement and also the fans' voice at Celtic Park. But so once again, housekeeping, if you could help us out with some likes, some shares and some subscribers. As always, I would appreciate your support. Just help us kind of chip away at the subscriber count so we can grow the channel and get our voices heard. So yes, welcome back to the YTCSC YouTube Celtic Supporters Club. One of those weeks at Celtic, fan, football, finance, all collide. We've had players coming in, transfer rumours, the boycott, and also how that kickstarts the debate and how supporters can actually influence the future of the club. Let's get into it. So today, have a look at go through the week, what's come in, what's been linked, and why so many fans feel frustrated. And then a little look ahead to today's match against Dundee. All right, so Monday, Tuesday, transfers set the tone. We got a cluster of loan signings, which divided opinion. Obviously good to get some faces in and freshen the squad, but did it show some kind of long-term strategy, or was it kind of just short-term thinking just to kind of get players in there with changes coming in the summer? We got in Junior Adamu, brought in to hopefully kind of help us with the options up front. He's got experience, but maybe not one that's going to excite the fans because we don't really know much about him. Hopefully he does well. I saw that he was added into the Europa League squad. Joe Mvuka came in, bit of pace, bit of width. Don't know, is he going to be a starter or just a bit of cover? I saw that he missed out as well as Ben Arthur, the young lad from Brentford, I believe. Again, squad solution, bit of defensive depth. Hopefully he does get a couple of games, or he gets some minutes to try and see if he can force his way into the squad. They're obviously, signings are signings. We want to obviously help the squad, but they didn't address the kind of main point that the fans are up in arms about. These are short-term solutions. They don't really address what we need, which is kind of quality additions to the squad that's going to help us get over the line, really provide that confidence that we can win this league coming up, and also with the European ambitions. Personally, it was good to get some bodies in, but uninspiring, and hopefully the lads prove us wrong. But best of luck to them all. Moving on to a little bit more experience, pretty much just waiting on the announcement. The big one this week was Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, the former Arsenal and Liverpool midfielder. Also had some experience playing in Turkey as well. Big name player, experienced. Bit of an injury, not ravaged, but an injury kind of checked career. Me personally, I think it's a good move. 32, still strong, still fit as a fiddle, but it may have split opinion. We've probably all seen the Chris Boyd 50-50, about face when Aaron Ramsey was signing for Rangers. It was like, wow, this is how it shows that Rangers are still one of the UK's biggest clubs. And then when we buy Oxlade-Chamberlain, or we're looking for that type of player, he uses his column in a tabloid with a 3-letter name that I won't mention to say that, it shows it's a bit a panic buy to appease the fans, etc. And it reminded him of Rangers buying Ramsey. Short-term memory, forget what he wrote, just sums up who he is and what his opinion is. As I said in one of my previous videos, anti-Celtic. But I'm only interested in your opinion. So what do you think, Celtic fans, on Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain? Is it another kind of short-term thinking, high wages, no resale value? Or kind of like Joe Hart and Kasper Schmeichel, experienced guys that will come in and get the club and really bring a bit of value to that. So yeah, so let me know in the comments what you think about Ox in a Box. By midweek, the boycott debate erupted. A lot of fans are boycotting today's game against Dundee. I'll be there myself, my wee boy, but I understand the boycott. I get it. I'm not anti-boycott, whatever, but I just feel with this current board, it's maybe not as effective as other vehicles, in my opinion. But as I said, I'm not diminishing the boycott and the supporters groups that support it. They have my support in terms of what they do, etc. But me personally, I feel it's maybe not the right vehicle to elicit effective change. So, what other options do we have? Anil came in and obviously said that protests do affect players, and that's where the waters get muddied. You know what I mean? Are you helping the team? Obviously, I was at a Falkirk game and the fans were united. Stand up if you hate the board. Martin O'Neill's song, the words were changed to sack the board. It was a united front. 95% there were obviously some people that didn't stand up or didn't clap, etc. But that's their right. They pay their money, they can do what they want. So boycott today. Hopefully we have some decent support for the team to help us get through to the next round of the Cup. But let's be honest, the boycott's not really about the Dundee game. It's not even about the transfer window, as we've saw since 2023 when Brendan came back and we just got Kwon and Thiago home. Wee Yang was the only guy that's kind of stayed the course. But I think what we're actually protesting is the board and the kind of repeated short-term recruitment, their disdain for the fans and banning vital fan group that provide atmosphere and provide the colour and provide the global view of Celtic. And also, in my opinion, the fans group that have the true values of Celtic, looking after the oppressed, being a supporter of poverty and food banks and all that. They do all the right things, in my opinion, but fans just feel like customers. They don't feel as if they have any sort of influence, and that's my view. That's the problem. The protest alone isn't the solution. The transfers, they're all board level decisions shaped by budgets, risk, long-term or short-term vision. But if fans want to really influence that, then it's probably not empty seats that's got to be the answer. It's probably ownership, votes and governance. There are a couple of organisations out there that I want to highlight, one being the Celtic Trust, who they exist to give supporters collective leverage. They pool the fans' shares, they represent supporters at AG, and they are campaigning to reach a 5% voting block, which unlocks shareholder rights. That matters because a 5% block can question strategy. It can include recruitment philosophy, wage structure and long-term planning. In my opinion, those are the right vehicles to affect real change. And the more shares that we take away from the current board members and the current suits, the better. The more fans we have having a voice on the board, the better it is. So Celtic Trust, celtictrust.net is our website. I'll put a little link in the bio as well. Get a look at it. If you can help, you can help. And it's one of the vehicles that I think can really help Celtic move forward. Another one is Celtic Supporters Limited. Their website is celticsupporters.net. They are basically in place to try and trace lost and dormant shares owned by fans and encourage shareholders to use proxy votes collectively. They want to build a professional and credible shareholder voice and focusing on governance, not protest. If fans are unhappy with transfer strategy, Celtic Supporters Limited provides a mechanism to challenge that at board level and not just shout about it on social media. I understand the social media things and putting that out there, because that is a kind of a viral thing, and it also helps as well put pressure on the board level. But as a counter argument, boycott versus boardroom, let's have a look at what other options we have. A boycott obviously expresses frustration with transfers, and it kind of shows the board on a match day basis. The empty seats mean they're not happy with how things are. But let's be real, as you saw with the AGM, the disdain that they had. Lawwell literally couldn't wait until he heard a boo after Ross Deadman was allowed to just pour vitriol on the Celtic fans, call us bullies and all that. If you have an effective voice in the boardroom, that does not happen. Before the AGM happens, you have the agenda, etc. If you've got an effective voice in the boardroom, that just gets shouted down. Like, that is just not allowed to happen, to call your customers and your stakeholders bullies. So in my opinion, boardroom versus boycott. The boardroom side of things helps shape ownership, and it also helps us get a say in who we want to sign and how we want to kind of build the kind of club and the squad that we're looking for. And also, collective ownership is a sustainable route. The more fan ownership on there, the more fan voices on the board, the better it is for us. So yeah, so that's just my opinion, guys. A little bit of a counterpoint on the boycott side of things. We want to get more fans on the board and more votes, and also kind of get the lost and dormant shares that kind of a lot of fans got in 95, 96 when Fergus McCann came on board. So yeah, so that was my two bob on that side of things. Hopefully it elicits a bit of debate, get some comments in, let us know what you think. If you agree, fantastic. Let's get some more people shouting about the Celtic Trust and also Celtic Supporters Limited. If you don't, I completely understand. But please get your thoughts in the comments. Yeah, so today, moving on to a bit of football, we play Dundee in the Scottish Cup. Let's see who starts. Will we see the same team that started against Falkirk, or will we see some changes? I saw Sarachi was rejoining training. I'd love to see him and Araujo on the opposite sides of the pitch, on the left and the right. Will Big Twankara start up front? Let us know in the comments if you're going to the game, or what you think about. Are you boycotting it because of that? So yeah, so thanks very much for your time again today, guys. As always, give us a shout out and give us a subscribe, a like, etc. And also, if you want to know more about the Celtic Trust and Celtic Supporters Limited, I'll put the links in the bio. All right, hail, hail, trips, all the best.